All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Housing and Land Use Committee meeting, part two. Today is February 25th, 2026. The time is now 6:07 p.m. My name is Rich Reynoso. I'm the chair of the Housing and Land Use Committee. Anyone online? Juanita, I see you if you want to introduce yourself. You're on mute. There you go.
Sorry. Hi, everyone. I'm Juanita Randall. I'm co-chair of housing.
And Cynthia.
I'm Cynthia Rodriguez, the chair of the board.
Anyone else from the committee? I think so. Okay. Moving on. Conduct statement, if you could read that on your own, that'd be great. Review of meeting minutes. Like I mentioned at the last call, we're gathering January's minutes, so we'll have that momentarily. So we should have that by March. Okay. Moving right along to our guest speakers, 2560 Boston Road. Please take the floor.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Let me just share my screen. Let me bring that up and I'll start. Let's see, here we go. Can you all see? Awesome, great. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having us. My name is Michelle Ponce. I'm with Slate Property Group, and I'm joined tonight also by my colleagues, Charlie Sharma and Erica Coleman from BronxWorks, our nonprofit partner. We, again, appreciate the opportunity that you guys had this meeting for us. I know there were some scheduling items that went on, so happy to be here with you tonight. So just to give an update on just a refresher on who the development team is here and just some updates as well. Slate Property Group is a New York-based owner, operator, and developer of affordable housing across the city. We have extensive experience developing 100% affordable and supportive housing, and obviously working with the city and state agencies. Our nonprofit partner, and they're more recent to the project, is BronxWorks. BronxWorks was established in 1972 and is a Bronx-based multi-service agency that provides an array of services throughout the Bronx. BronxWorks is also an experienced and established on-site supportive services provider that we're very happy to have on board with us for the project. The project location, 2560 Boston Road, I'm sure everyone on this call is very familiar with the site. It's between Barnes and Matthews Avenue. The existing conditions, as we can all see here, and as again, I'm sure everyone is very familiar, it's currently occupied by the Fine Fair Supermarket and 2 vacant properties. Right now, it's very open air parking with limited greenery that creates, it's really an underutilized site with a poor possession experience, as we can see here. So our proposed project includes the development of a 14-story building that will have 483 units of 100% affordable housing that will be financed under HPD and HCC's Extremely Low and Low Income Affordability Program, also known as ELA. And BronxWorks will have a supportive services suite on site in the building. You'll hear more about that a little bit later in the presentation. Amenities will include a landscaped outdoor recreation area that provides much needed open space for families and residents, an indoor recreation space that will be available for year-round gathering and programming, a resident fitness room to promote health and wellness, a centrally located laundry facility, and 66 cellar-level parking spaces that will be available to residents. Now, in terms of the affordability and the unit mix of the project, on this table, we can see a breakdown of the unit mix by the AMIs and by the size of the units. So I'll quickly go over the table here for the team. We're going to provide a mix of studios, 1s, 2s, and 3 bedrooms at the project. 112 units will be for supportive units that will be funded through the 1515 rental and supportive services program that will be working with BronxWorks here as well. 122 of the units will be at 40% of the area median income. 126 units will be at 50% of the area median income. And 122 units will be at 60% of the area median income. We really like this mix. I know we really worked on to improve it. I think it gives a lot of flexibility to accommodate individuals and families of varying sizes, while also, again, it's 100% affordable. the max AMI here is 60%. And now I talked just about the AMIs. What does that mean in terms of rents for each unit? We can see that here on the table. Just for example, I'll walk through it very quickly. A studio at 40% of the area median income would be $972 of rent per month. Oh, sorry.
I think she fell off.
She might have clicked
Yeah,
on
that
something.
yeah, that happens sometimes with WebEx. You hit share and it hit out. So she'll
Mhm.
come back on in a second.
Hi, sorry. I think
There you go. Yeah, you hit exit by mistake. It happens.
okay, I'm sorry about that. All right, I'll jump back without a beat. Okay, great. So then a 1-bedroom at 50% of AMI, that would have a corresponding rent of $1,518 per month. A 2-bedroom at 60% of the area median income would have a corresponding rent of $2,187 per month. And a 3-bedroom would have at 50% of the area median income would have a rent of $2,106 per month. All right, and then now I'll turn it over to my colleague Shali from BronxWorks so she can just go over the slide.
I also wanted to mention on the previous slide, those rent levels are within city FEPS, EHV, TBRA, within all those subsidy levels. So, you know, it opens up opportunities for voucher holders that sometimes don't have opportunities in big scale buildings like this, which is great. Okay, I can talk about supportive housing now. So BronxWorks has been providing supportive housing since 2009, 2010. So we're an experienced supportive housing provider, providing services to both individuals, single individuals, and to families. We started our first project, like I said, in 2009, 2010 with 120 units. So, you know, this is along the same lines. We are already operating NYC 1515 programs, and we also have, you know, several in the works. So this is a population that we are very familiar with, and some of these photos that you're seeing is actually supportive housing services that we provide. So what does supportive housing services mean? For BronxWorks, because this is for BronxWorks, not every supportive housing provider provides the breadth of services that I think we do, which I'm really proud of. But our supportive housing services, on-site case management, we are on site Monday through Saturday, intensive case management. So one case manager or one worker will have no more than 15 clients because we expect them to work closely with each supportive housing tenant, you know their benefits, are they connected to healthcare? Are there public, their subsidy, the 1515 subsidy connected, all of that. And then having a caseload ratio like that allows that. So on site, besides the case management, we also provide a lot of activities to build community because, you know, they're supportive housing clients, but they're also tenants. And we open up those activities to everybody in the building, you know, and these are all the type of activities we have. So health and wellness, we have lots of arts and crafts. You know, we just had Valentine's Day events at all of our sites for both adults and children. And then BronxWorks is a multi-service agency, as Michelle pointed out earlier. So we make referrals internally to our own programs, but also to external agencies. So yeah, and then we help clients managing their money, you know, with budgets, making sure rent gets paid. And then I think lastly, we want a lot of times when we meet clients for the first time coming into supportive housing, they've not been connected to primary care in a very, very long time. So that's a big focus of ours, and to promote that, we offer services on site through a third party, which is also really helpful for both medical and psychiatric. I think that's everything.
Yes, thank you, Shali. All right, so that was the housing. Now we want to focus on a couple of more the open facing part of the project that we know will benefit the community. There will be an enhanced community experience with the new landscape plaza at the project. It'll be at the intersection of Boston Road and Matthews Avenue, as you guys can see here on this slide to the right. It's really going to provide an opportunity to activate the street frontage, improve walkability, and just have a more vibrant sense in the neighborhood. Also, the ground floor community facility that the project will have is going to be operated by Neighborhood Initiatives Development Corporation, NIDC. I'm sure the community board here is very familiar with the organization. NIDC's focus will be on youth programming, job readiness, and housing connect assistance, which I'm sure is going to be very helpful once the units through the Housing Connect lottery come online, just to help residents in the area be able to actually apply for the affordable units at the project. And lastly, but most importantly, is the return of the Fine Fare supermarket. The supermarket that's currently there has been on site for several years, and they will be temporarily relocated during construction. They're not going anywhere. They're going to just be 5 minutes away at 2803 Boston Road. And once the construction is completed, they're going to return to a brand new expanded 22,000 square foot supermarket. Well, they'll be able to improve some of the offerings they have as well. They'll have a wider selection of fresh and affordable groceries, expanded healthy food options, not to mention the fact that with the larger supermarket comes additional jobs. And the operator is very committed to do all of those with local hiring. So they'll be reaching out to the community board, the churches, and the local organizations once the time comes to let them know about the new work opportunities that'll be available. And not to mention, they'll also retain some parking. There will be 42 parking spaces at grade level specifically for the supermarket. And overall, we just think with this larger space, the Fine Fare supermarket is going to improve the shopping experience and better serve the needs of the community with this new larger space. And with that, that concludes the presentation. We'll open it up to questions. And thank you again for bearing with us also through that little technical blip.
Thanks, Michelle. Appreciate it. Cynthia, Juanita, any questions before I open it up to the floor?
I don't have any questions.
Okay.
So I know you've all been with us before a couple of years ago for this address. Just if you wouldn't mind kind of going over what some of the differences are between the initial proposal and this current one.
Yeah, I can go through that. Let me just go back to this slide. Sorry, So the biggest change is obviously it's the unit count. When this project went through, I believe it was back in 2023, 22, it's been a while for the rezoning. The proposal was for 333 units and the programming was very different. Back then, I personally wasn't here then, but it was a mix of market rate and some levels of affordability with the mix and match program that targets higher levels of affordability up to 120% of area median income. I know the community board back then did not approve the project under those conditions, and in its letter, the community board said that they did want. Sorry, I have the letter here right in front of me. They wanted to see proposed income levels that would be changed to include a higher percentage of lower income residents, and that's exactly what we did. 333 units. We're now at 483 units, and they're all 100% affordable. From 40%, 50%, and 60% of the area median income. So we're very happy that we're coming back to you and telling you, yes, like we met that checkpoint. And then secondly, the parking was also, I will check the exact details, but this parking is available first come, first served to all the residents, and it's going to be provided at no charge. And sorry, just to correct my statement before, it was a mix and match through HPD. So it was going to target higher levels of affordability, not market rate. That's my apologies. I just needed to refresh my memory. And the supermarket's bigger. I believe it was 15,000 square feet. When I went through the rezoning, we're at 22,000 square feet. So that's even better.
Great. All right, so I'm going to open up to the floor to anyone who's online now. If you could raise your hand, I can't really see. It's not like I'm in the office, so it's a little different. So if you could raise your hand and I can call on you, and if folks can help me out, that'd be great.
Let's see here. I see, hold on, let me close this other window. So far I see Grace and Diana have their hands up.
So go ahead, Grace. And you have 2 minutes, by the way.
Okay,
Let me
thank
know when
you.
you're ready to go. Yep, go.
So far, I'm still waiting to see what's affordable. I live right down the, first of all, that's a monstrosity that doesn't belong in this area. I'm low income. The majority of people in my area are low income. This is not affordable. So I don't know where is it affordable? And you're taking up all this space. You're going to block out our sun. You're going to damage our trees. They're not going to get enough sunlight. This should not be, it should have never been approved. And to add insult to injury, it's being paid for with taxpayer money. It's an insult to the community, and we don't want it here. We said we didn't want this here. First, you 333 units was bad enough. Now you're at 483. Are you guys insane? I don't understand
Grace,
what
Grace,
you're
gotta
thinking.
we have to choose your words carefully, please.
The decorum,
I don't know where is it
decorum.
affordable? It's not affordable. It doesn't belong in this neighborhood. It belongs in an open area somewhere in a bigger place. Manhattan. It belongs in Manhattan. That's where it goes. But not here. So I don't know where you're thinking it's affordable. In some la la land, it's affordable for you, but not here. Not in the real world.
All right, thank you, Grace. Diana Finch, go ahead.
Hi, so I put the link to the original proposal in the chat, if anyone wants to look at that. I'm interested to know if you can say how many stories it will be, how many floors at 483 units, and also how you made the financing work to make it feasible to build the building and run the building, given that before you had the AMI going up to 130% and fewer units at the lower AMI.
Yes. Sorry, Juanita, I just wanted to tell Grace, I hear you and appreciate the feedback. And then, sorry, Juanita, the building is 14 stories now. A lot of that came with City of Yes. So the zoning is as of right. We got a boost in height. So also able to just add, that's where the differential in the unit increase came. As for the financing, the term sheets HPD and HTC give are different once you pursue a 100% affordable housing project. So that's part of it. Also just the maximizing the utilization between the supermarket and the affordable. We're also doing a heavy cleanup of the site. It's not a clean site. So we're also getting some state participation there through some cleanup credits. That's helping us also deliver on the financing. Obviously, nothing is ever perfect. So we're working with HPD and HTC to make sure that we have a good balance of affordability and community investment.
And the cleanup credits refer to the brownfield remediation?
Correct.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okie dokie. Let's go with Mr. Press.
Couple of questions. Is this going to be a concrete or a steel building?
We'll have a mix. The first couple of floors will be steel and then the rest will be concrete block.
Okay, and where is your staging area going to be? Because I obviously, this is going to take the whole footprint, correct?
Yes, and that's a good question. We are working on their staging plan now, and obviously we'll make sure that we minimize any disturbances and impacts to the neighborhood. I'm just curious, so which area, are there any areas that you're specifically concerned with?
Are there going to be any street closures?
We'll likely have some, but we'll try to minimize those as well, because again, we have a lot of frontage on the project.
And will they be permanent or temporary, meaning that it's just going to be for a couple of hours a day, or will it be fully for months?
It won't be permanent.
No, I mean, but will it be more than a day? Will it be for, say, weeks or months while the building is going up?
I can't give specifics. It'll be at least for a couple of weeks for the construction. But again, that'll change as the further we progress, we'll be able to remove them. It won't be for months on end.
And you're not going to block any fire hydrants or cause any safety problems?
No, we have to be compliant with DOT. If
Okay.
not, they wouldn't let us do anything like that.
When is the construction going to start?
It's a very good question. We are working with HPD and HTC on that, and also hopefully working with the council member just to lock in a date of when this project can close and construction can start.
So you have no completion date either then?
The construction itself, once we close, we'll know it'll be approximately 24 to 30 months thereafter.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Press. Up next, we have Michael Case.
Hi, I'm Michael Cass. I supported this project when it first passed. We really need more housing in our district, and I'm especially thrilled to see the increase in unit count as well as the improvements in affordability. As far as I'm concerned, all these changes are a win-win, and I look forward for construction to start. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. FG, you're next.
Yes, I want a 30-second warning before you shut me down. My
Yep.
name is Roxanne Delgado.
Okie dokie, go for it.
The only person who spoke that lives within that vicinity is Grace. No other resident has spoken in this meeting. And I asked for a public hearing or public meeting because of the conflict of interest at NIDC, where you have former employees or board employees and board members of NIDC that are currently serving on the board. My concern is that initially, this is called bait and switch. They proposed this unit where it was going to bring over 500 residents. It was already going to trigger a negative impact with additional 235 residents. In addition to that, that definitely causes a significant negative impact on the area. And that's not being addressed. This is bait and switch. And if this was proposed as city planning, it would have triggered an environmental impact statement. And this has to be looked at. I'm not sure HPD funded this project yet, but we have to send a letter to HPD not to fund this project because it will have a negative impact on the community surrounding this proposed project if it's not too late. And I want a public hearing because there's a conflict of interest at NIDC being given that space with no RFP, and you have board members currently on CB 11 that work for NIDC or on the board of NIDC. Has HPD funded this project yet? Is my question, please.
I'll pause you there. Has this been funded yet, guys?
No, we're in pipeline. We haven't closed yet, so the funding hasn't happened yet.
So I'm asking and pleading with CB 11 to hold a public hearing as quick as possible, please, because we actually want to hear from residents that live in that vicinity and it will impact them directly, please. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Roxanne. Anyone else want to share their thoughts? Let me see. Look at that.
Sorry, my screen went
Okay.
blank. Let me just stop sharing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm not seeing anyone else. Any other final comments, Cynthia, Juanita, before I move on, or excuse our guest? Hearing none. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for making this date. I know we've been going back and forth for months, and I have a feeling we're gonna want you to come back and talk to us some more. So look out for some dates in the next couple of months.
Yeah, no, of course. Again, always happy to come back. Oh, did I get disconnected again?
No, we hear you. I see you.
Oh,
Yeah, we hear
okay.
you.
I
You're good.
couldn't see you guys for a second. Sorry about that.
Yep.
No, again, looking forward to the collaboration here and to the delivery of 483 100% permanent affordable housing, the larger supermarkets. So we'll be here. Let us know. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Have a good
Thank
one.
you.
Thank
Gonna
you,
move on with
everyone.
Thank
the
you.
agenda.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Moving on to the gallery session. Anyone have anything besides the 2560 Boston Road? Please raise your hand and I'll call on you. Roxanne, do you have something?
Yes, again, because
Go ahead.
you gave
Go
us
for
such
it.
little time, but I'm not throwing shades at the board members, but I think none of them even looked at the EAS report, or much less none of them were at the city planning hearing like I was. And it's unfair that people who are here in this gallery session don't even live, except for Grace, within that vicinity. They cannot speak for people who actually live in that vicinity. If you look at the prior EAS report, it was already going to have a significant impact on the community with that additional over 150 units in addition. That is definitely going to have a negative impact. And this is what I call bait and switch. They did not propose this this number of units to city planning. So I'm asking you to be right for the community, especially with the conflict of interest that's inherent with the CB11, with NIDC, to hold a public hearing for people who actually live in that vicinity to have a say in whether this project should be funded by their public monies. And again, I just didn't really realize there would be a presentation by the developer today. Otherwise, I would have invited a few residents who want to speak on behalf of their neighborhood. So that's why I'm asking to have a public hearing with enough advance notice and with actual agenda to actually specify that the developer will be there. But nonetheless, I hope you really do fair by the community, because it's the people that live there, not you, not all these people who come here to grandstand to make themselves look like they're leaders. No, if you're a leader, you are a leader that lives in that vicinity. They are the leaders because they live there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Roxanne, anybody else before we move on? All the comments have been noted, by the way. Okay. No hands. Okie dokie. Moving on.
No, Diana has her hands up.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't see you.
Yeah, I would like an answer about the environmental assessment. If the scope of the project's changed that much. I mean, I understand that the city of Yes changes allowed them to make it that much larger and with the increased affordability, but
So what
if
exactly,
I recall the
what's your question?
environmental assessment.
Yeah, but what about it? So what changes?
Do they in fact have to redo it?
Okay, so I'll write that down.
Because the physical dimensions have changed, have gotten much bigger.
Okay.
And I think the environmental assessment, the original one too, was before they were told they had to do the brownfield remediation, I think. So is that part of it? You know, and what's the process for the state coming to check that they've adequately done the brownfield remediation,
Mm-hmm.
the cleanup?
Okay, I took a note.
If the board could maybe ask them those questions.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
follow. We can follow up over email.
And I think Lauren George is still online, so I'm sure she can take it back to them as well.
I think
I'm so
Rob-
sorry. What was the last thing you said? I heard my name.
The remediation, has it happened?
Oh, the
Did you
brownfield.
need to do it again? Did you need to do it again, given that the parameters have changed?
The environmental
No,
assessment.
but I will get
need
back
to
to you
do
guys
the
on that. On the brownfield cleanup, you mean?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
And
I'll
also
get
the-
information about that and the timeline. I think it happens you know, after the closing, because the whole idea is that it's under the ground, right? So
Got it.
but in terms of the scope of the remediation, I will for sure get back to you guys on that.
Okay.
Sorry, Lauren, just to be clear, I think it was whether or not there will be a whole new EIS as a result of the,
No.
is that right?
So that's one thing I wanted to be really clear on. Like, this is an as of right project. And I know that some folks are not thrilled about that, but this is because the city of Yes zoning that really changed the citywide ability, you know, FAR percentages and allowances means that even under the zoning that was approved in the past, this is a larger project. It was enabled to be larger. So it doesn't need to go back through an environmental review process. But you should be aware that HPD does look at all of the impacts and the, you know, the mitigation and working with the neighbors and the questions about the construction. DOT does a very careful and thorough review of temporary street closures. There's not going to be total street closures. There will probably just be lane closures, et cetera. So that's a process that the team will for sure come back to you guys on when that time is right and make sure that we're communicating with you about it in
Okay.
advance.
So thank you for that, Lauren. I know, Robert, did you raise your hand again?
Yes. Well,
Okay, go for it. Go. You got two.
the board is going to have to watch this because, again, they can go 12 stories because they're providing a community facility and the percentage of affordable housing, which gives them the extra height. But is this going to be ELRP or ULRP? You know, are you going to have 90 days to, or have we gone through that? I believe we've gone through the process because, as Lauren said, we went through this before. We can do whatever we want because I know projects when I was on a community board, once the community board approved it, there were changes made and they can be made by the developer. Okay, they can add height, they can add this, they can add that if they want, once you're, going through it. But the board has to be very careful about the process, very careful about what they're doing and the time frame. Just letting you know that. Okay?
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yes, I'm sorry, I raised my hand.
Okay. Okay, go for it.
Yeah,
Go. Okay.
unfortunately, it's as a right project, but that's why I call it a bait and switch, because if this project was proposed at city planning at the time, they most likely, maybe they would not have had the upzoning because it would have shown the significant negative impact on the surrounding community. But now that they receive the upzoning and with the city of Yes, now it's as a right, but that doesn't mean HPD should be aware that this is, and I'm sorry, but Slate Property Group has a history of bait and switch. This is not opinion, just Google them. And this is unfair for this community. And again, hold that public hearing because if I add those totals in additional to that EAS report, it will have trigger negative impact on the surrounding schools, on the air, parking, you name it. You just have to add the additional number of units. For each unit, they put 1.5 person. That's how you time the number of estimated number of residents in addition to the current number of residents. It's not that hard, but like I said, but no one on this board even looked at EAS report. But this is because I give a damn. Unfortunately, I do give a damn. And I do ask you to do the right thing and hold that public hearing for the people that live there. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. And that'll be the last on that comment. Grace, go ahead. Please
Yeah,
watch your tone.
just quickly, we definitely need to have that public hearing. And at that public hearing, we also need to have the people from Fine Fair there as well. I've
Okay.
been shopping at Fine Fair for over 50 years. It was Delesio, the Agostino, was Fine Fair. So it's been Fine Fair for a long time. We need to have them at the town hall, at the meeting as well, because I'd like to ask them some questions.
Okay. Duly noted. Okay, I'm taking notes. All right. I don't think any more hands are there. Okay, we're gonna move on. Thank you, folks. Motions, I don't have any. I don't think we have quorum. So, old business. So I guess, we've been trying to get these folks here for months. And this is why we had 2 housing meetings this month, because this is the only time they could come. We're going to continue the dialogue. I took notes of everything you guys, everyone said. So I'm hearing everything. We all are. And we want to do right by the community. Okay. So I think we're taking this just as serious as we usually do for these big projects. Any other comments from anyone? From Cynthia, Juanita? Okay. New business. I don't have any. All right. Motion to adjourn.
Sorry, so sorry.
No.
Can you hold this meetings, a public hearing after 6 p.m.? Because I actually am in the break room at my workplace because most of us work till 6. So
Yeah.
we
No.
have to, it has to be at 7 p.m. because I asked 2 people to come and they're not available because they're at work. So please, let's consider most of us do work in this community. Thank you so much.
Okay. Motion to adjourn. I got a second, right?
Yes.
Good night, everyone. See you soon. See you on Thursday. See you tomorrow? Oh my goodness.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
We're online. We're online. We're online.
Good
Yes.
night.
Online.
Well,
Okay,
have a good
bye.
night.
Good night, Rich.
See
Good
ya.
night, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, Cynthia.